Hi everyone, so today we're looking at another card that takes two 6-inch square cards or 15 centimetres and it makes this lovely card. I've got lots of variations which I'll show you at the end, but it's a simple card to make. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that up into that top corner for the moment. And we're going to bring in two pieces of card that is A4, so just over 29 centimetres that way and 15 this way. Okay, I'll remove that. And we're going to bring in a scoreboard and we're going to take the first one and we're going to score it at 7.5 and 15. Moved slightly. Okay, we're going to take the next one and we're going to do exactly the same. So we're going to score at 7.5 and we're going to score at 15. Okay, so pop that away for the moment. And we're going to fold these. So we're going to fold on the 15 and we're going to take bone folder and just make sure that all our pieces are lined up, and we've made a Z fold. We're going to bring in the next one. We're going to fold it exactly the same. Fold this back, make sure all these are matching up, and there's our second Z fold. Now we're going to turn these round and we're going to fit these together. Now, because it's not strictly 30 centimetres, we're going to have a slight adjustment to make. So I'm going to place those there, make sure that they fit nicely, because that is what people are going to see when they open your card. So let's take these. Right, so that's going to hold it for us just while we work on it. So I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to put a piece of double-sided tape or wet glue along here to hold it. We're basically putting two 6-inch cards together. So if I do this and fix this exactly where I want it, I can now safely take these clips off and work at getting everything else sorted. So if I go to the inside of the card, I can now put double-sided tape. I'll go one for the middle, and one along here. So I don't have to worry about lining them up again because I've already done that. I can let that just go down and it's in exactly the right place. So I'm going to tip it over and just check we're nicely fixed together. So that is two pieces put together and our centre piece is absolutely perfect. Okay, so now we're going to take our ruler, and this is 15 centimetres, 6 inches, and so we're going to measure halfway down. So I'm going to measure 7.5 and always measure as near to the edge as possible. 7.5 to there. Now another big tip is always have the sharpest point you can on the pencil. This is a propelling pencil, so it has a very fine lead in it. And I'm going to go from the fold in the middle to this outside piece. From the outside piece to the fold at the centre here. And I'm going to repeat it on this side. The thinner your pencil line is, the more accurate you're likely to have your card at the end. So if you look how thin these lines are. And then I'm going to take my ordinary scissors, or you can take a knife or a trimmer, whatever you've got in your stash, and we're going to trim off the corners. Take your time over it. Okay, there's one done. Turn it over, and if you find that you need to rub out the lines afterwards, then this is a good point to do it. If you've cut right down the centre of the line, you shouldn't need to. So there's the start of our card. How quick was that? Right, now we are going to look at, first of all, the centre panel, and that is 14.5 centimetres by 14.5. As usual, all the measurements will be up in this top corner. So I have done a little bit of cutting, and I have this piece which is 14.5 by 14.5, and that is going to go in the centre. So you can use backing papers, card. This was actually a kit which I got leftover bits at the end, so that's why I'm using this particular one. So fit it in, you'll have a little white border all the way round. Okay, so no matting and layering, it's just the piece in the middle. Right, now we're going to look at these side pieces. And the side pieces, I've got these two bits here. I must be careful because they're directional with the hearts on them. But we're going to mat and layer these. Now this is 6.5 centimetres wide and 13.5 long. Just get my crib sheet there. And I've cut myself some 7 by 14 mats. So let's fit those on. We'll have just a small amount all the way round. Yep. And this one. So now I've got my two pieces and they're going to go on the sides here. So let's put those on. This actually is a very quick card once you've got the triangles cut off. So fold it over and then you can see exactly where you're going. Once again, we should have a little white border all the way round. Okay. Let's do this one. Make sure the hearts are up the right way. Okay. And let's open that out. So now we've got a lovely background to our card. So we'll talk about different ways of dealing with this. But first of all, we're going to cut ourselves a 10cm square, which is going to be our mat, and a 9cm square. There. Right, now what we've got to do now is to cut these in half. So we're going to make triangles to go on these pieces here. So either you can draw a line like we did before, and cut that. Not everybody has a load of equipment, so I do like to show you can do it without any. And this one, it's dark on this side, so I'm going to flip over. It's a square, so it doesn't matter which way up it is. And let's chop that through here. Now, normally you would put these together with exactly the same border all the way round, but we're going to make these go on there, and I only want a very small border coming down the centre and a wider border round the outer edge. So I think I'm going to go for wet glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to prepare both. I'm going to slide this so I've got the same border here, but only a very tiny border there. Let me put it on there and you can see how small it is. Okay. Take this one, I'm going to do exactly the same. Okay. So I'm checking this is equal and only a small border there. To put some double-sided tape. Ideally you let this set a little, but if you've gone on and worked, just make sure that it hasn't slipped at all. And in we go, and I want a very tiny white border down the centre. Place that on, so I've now got green and white down there, and let's go place this one on. So again, very minute border. Second one's always easier to place because you've got the first one to match it to. So there is our beautiful card, coming together. My camera has moved, so it's taking off the top of my board at the moment. Right, so let's bring in this one. Now there's a lot of different things that you can put on the front now, but whatever you do, we are only sticking half on. Okay, so it doesn't matter which half you stick it on. So this one's on the left hand side. So you're going to have a piece that overhangs there. This one is put on the left hand side as well. I think originally I got it on the right hand side and I changed it. Okay, so that's that one. And we're going to look at some other bits. Now, if we're putting a square on here, we're doing a 7.5 centimetre square in the middle with an 8 centimetre mat around. So let's go back to this one. So this is a 7.5 centimetre white piece and an 8 centimetre pink piece. But I decided in this pack I had some toppers. So look at this, that one. Turn them around the right way so the butterflies around nicely. I think we're going to go for this one, but it's a little bit big with this piece around, so I'll keep that in my stash. And I think this one I can put a topper on here and just link it down this side. So what I like to do is go, this side needs sticking, so put a cross on it. It's difficult when you change direction of things to make sure that it's always the right way up and you're putting glue in the right place. So I'm going to use these points here to line it up to the centre and just move it up and down so I know I've got it right and press down. So there, I know I've got my glue in the right place. A little bit come out there. Now let's have a look at some variations that I've done. This one has no greeting on the front. This one has a greeting on a slant that matches to the slant here. Okay, and that opens out like this. This one has no greeting inside, but plenty of room for a greeting here. Let's take a look at some more. This one here, this is using the 7.5 centimetre square and an 8 centimetre mat. Now, when we open this, we can see that my greeting is hidden behind here. Okay. Also, the chipboard butterfly is overhanging, so that makes another interest when you open it. Okay. Right. This one was a beautiful one. So instead of cutting my triangles off with a straight knife or a scissors, I've used fancy scissors. So that has already given me a start on my design. And I've used fancy scissors around the pink as well. So this one, it has a couple of strips here. Again, this is all using scraps that were in my stash. And when I open it, there is the beautiful card. Okay. Now, I think this perhaps was one of my favourites. And instead of using a square on the front, I've done a scalloped circle and I had a little topper there, but that little topper went beautifully with the picture inside. So I think it would make a lovely retirement card. Now, one of the other things that we want to look to, you can put as much decoration on as you want. So if we open this one, I've put a panel on the back here. I've done panels down the side, so plenty of room to add extra bits. I'm not sure whether some of those others went out of screenshot, so I'll just quickly go through. So I think that has to be my favourite, followed closely by this one. Here's the butterfly. So literally, if you have your triangles on the front, anything can go on here that you've got. It's not a set thing that you have to have a regular square. So this is the one that we did in the demonstration. Very simple but very effective, and anything goes that you decorate, just so long as you can fit half of it onto one side. Okay, so do have a go and enjoy, and God bless you all.